Hey there, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to show you how Dime.Scheduler's color coding system works. It's an easy-to-use tool that helps you organize your work by any dimension imaginable. The color coding system is part of a larger concept called visual indicators. Besides colors, we can also use icons to display some property or some status of your work. Let me show you how it works. The background colors of the appointments on the planning board and the horizontal bars at the bottom are the two visual indicators that I'll be focusing on today. Each color that you see is linked to some property or to some status of your planned work. We can check out the meaning of those colors by clicking on one of the appointments that you're interested in and then navigate to the top of this card, where you can see these two combo boxes that represent the two visual indicators. The category represents the background color of the appointment, where the horizontal bar is named the time marker. So for this appointment here, we can see this yellow color represents a preventive maintenance order that's currently in the status of initial, which means that the technician or the engineer hasn't started his work just yet. We also have a component that shows all the indicators in one single list. For that, we need to go to the profile section in the menu, navigate down to the component types, and then drag a new instance of the indicators component type somewhere on our planning view, like so, for example. And here you can see our indicators grouped by type. Already expanded are our categories. We also have our time markers, and we have two more indicator types: the importance, which shows the priority of our work, and then we also have pins that shows the color of our markers on the map. I'm not going to cover these two today, but they work in a very similar fashion. I'm going to show a few default capabilities that we ship out of the box in our standard connector for Business Central. But the visual indicators can be used in any other way. Likewise, I'm going to showcase service orders, but any other table in the system and even custom tables can leverage the same capabilities. I'm going to go ahead and create a new service order in Business Central. Pretty much everything that I'm going to show is standard functionality, so I'm not going to go into detail here. All I will do is select a customer. I'm also going to indicate the service order type, because in our extension, by default, we're going to link each item here to a category in Dime.Scheduler. So you may remember the preventive maintenance option was yellow. This originates from Business Central. I'm going to select a general service that we're going to perform on this item right here. I'll get back to this part, but we also will link the repair status code list to time markers in Dime.Scheduler. So I know by heart the initial status is linked to this blue color, and we'll see this color change whenever this item gets updated to in process or finished. But before we do that, let's send this order to Dime.Scheduler to look for a qualified technician. So let's send this order. And we'll have it available now in Dime.Scheduler under order 169. When I scroll down, we'll see this order 169 shows up in the list. And now when I drag and drop this task to the planning board, we'll see this background color will be dark blue, which is linked to this general service order type. We can see this in the legend right here. Service, or when I double click on this order, we can see we're talking about a general service order, which is currently in the initial state, as we can see right here. I'm going to show you a couple of ways how you can update these visual indicators. To begin with, you can use the card by double clicking on that appointment and then just simply update the status to, for example, in process. And as you can expect, when you go to Business Central, you will find if you update your order, the repair status code will be set to in process, which reflects the status that we just set in the planning board. You could also use the designated component to update the indicators of your appointments. What I'm going to do here is update the time marker and set it back from in process to initial for the appointment that we just scheduled. Drag the indicator of interest and drag it on the appointment that you want to update. And now we're going to put it back to initial, as you can see. When you want to update multiple appointments, just select the appointments by keeping the control key on your keyboard and then hit this icon here to put the status for all these selected appointments. Now we can see for these 2 appointments, the status is set to in process. And as you can imagine, that will make its way back to Business Central. We can also update indicators from a component called the planned task list. This component is a list-based version of our planning board. Each row in this list represents an appointment on the planning board. Let's look for the appointment that we planned for this order 169. And when I click on that row, we'll see a whole bunch of buttons appear in the top bar. I'm going to set this one right here to update the time marker of the appointment. Back from in process to initial. And you'll see in the time marker here, it's back to blue. When we check out the planning for this resource on his mobile app, we could also update the same visual indicator inside the app here. So we can push this button right here and put it back to initial from the mobile app. This will push an update to the planning board and that will trigger an update to Business Central. So we'll go back here where we can see the update has been pushed to the planning board. And if we then go to Business Central, that status will be put back to in process. So it will invoke a whole chain of events from wherever you make the update. And finally, it's also possible to send updates from Business Central to Dime.Scheduler. When there is an appointment known for the service order, you can update the repair status code, and whenever you make that change, it will send an update to the planning tool so we can update the status as well. So if we then go back again, that bar will be orange once again to reflect that status that was triggered from within Business Central or a third-party tool that integrates with that order that is linked to this block here. I hope that you saw that this flexible color coding system is powerful and adaptive, which makes it suitable for any planning method. I'll see you in the next video.